Hey, you geeks! The more I think about it, the more I realize that Dae'mar, episode 7 of The Wheel of Time season 2, is really quite the Jordan-style mix of the period parlor dramas a la Liaisons Dangereuses and Vanity Fair.
I want the excitement of watching her betray everything that's most important to her. Surely you understand that.
With the Arthurian legend.
There she weaves by night and day a magic web in colors gay.
Though I must admit that I have a bit of a distaste for when Jordan does the period drama stuff. All in all, it provided an exemplary setup for the season finale, and on a channel where I can talk about whatever I want, I am going to talk about the 10 things I loved about this episode. Of course, spoilers for the entire show up to this point, and zero context book spoilers for the entire series. You have been warned. Number 1, the dragon is reborn. I had a feeling that we were going to get more nuggets this season from New Spring. New Spring that is, of course, chock full of Swan and Maureen's pillow friend relationship, and other trivial matters like prophesizing the end of the world.
The dragon is born again.
In a brilliant and economical adaptation choice, the show simplifies the scene to just the most important string of fate that the seer tied to Swan and Moraine: the vow of silence.
Tell no one, my sisters. You must find the dragon reborn and prepare the world to follow.
This is starting the Lady of Shalott vibes early in this episode, and I am so here for it.
4 gray walls and 4 gray towers overlook a space of flowers, and the silent isle embowers the lady
Swan Sanche. Though, of course, not all of my vibe detections have been proven correct. Yet. Number 2.
just can't wait to be king.
I just knew that Barthanes was a dark friend this spinning.
To deliver an order.
What does our master ask of me?
And yet, what I had previously interpreted as him buttering up Moraine to get information on the Dragon Reborn.
It's lucky, really, because the cow would be long dead by now, surely. I just buttered both sides of the bread.
May have actually been true affection.
Boo-hoo, now I feel really bad. Bad llama.
Though that didn't seem to stop him from plotting to kill Moraine anyway, and failing miserably. This is kind of a sore spot for me, since I really wanted the seemingly naive fop to be not as stupid as he is pretty. To be fair to Barthanes and relying on the naivete of his mother, I also had Moraine's sister down as a dark friend after that swift 1-2 punch they gave her last episode. In truth, Anver and Moraine are
sisters, sisters. There were never such devoted sisters.
Light help the mister who comes between Anver and her sister. In a show that has made a point of telling the audience that
you aren't exactly what you seem.
Most people are not.
I hope Barthanes has more in him than just being a dark friend. Personally, I'm wishing for his marriage to Queen Galdrian to go through and...
But I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and Gilda to frame for it. I'm swamped.
I doubt that they're going to give us any scenes in Kyrian next week, so I'm giving this a lot of time here in case it happens off screen. Also, this would prevent Wheel of Time from seeing two Games of Thronesy and all of their various happy wedding ceremonies. Number 3. The Tango Moiraine! Rafe was really able to seamlessly intertwine the relationship drama of Swan and Moiraine
Take me, baby, or leave me.
with the actual plot of the main characters much more deftly this season than he had before.
I've let you carry this burden for 20 years, love. You've given everything for it. From here on out, I row beside you.
Swan is at her full charming curmudgeon fishmonger self, while also wearing the crown of the Lady of Shalott. A cloud-white crown of pearl she dight, all raiment in snowy white, that loosely flew her zone in sight, clasped with one blinding diamond bright. Yet another reason to love these costumes! Though for all of Swan's regalness, we see her totally lose faith in Moiraine over the course of this episode and her ability to control the Dragon Reborn.
But you were supposed to be with him, ready to shield him if he started to go mad, yet here you are, stilled.
Though Moiraine and Swan started on the same page, Swan has taken this foolish notion that she should do something like uphold Tower Law.
Tomorrow, when Queen Galdrian returns, we shall announce him as Dragon, here in Kyria.
And tempt fate.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Number 4.
Use cat crosses the courtyard.
I don't know about you, but I've been waiting for Lan to give Rand his oh-so-helpful fatherly advice.
There's one rule above all others for being a man. Whatever comes, you face it on your feet.
Of course, it lands a bit differently here. We're in a different setting. We don't have access to the inside of Rand's head, so we're not sure about all of his specific angst, just his angstiness in general.
I saw what she did to the last man who called himself Dragon.
And yet, I still feel such proud parent vibes from Lan as Rand goes off to meet his destiny on his feet.
When did he grow to be so tall?
I really hope we get more of this in the finale and moving into season 3. Number 5. Aiel Pride. We're meeting more Maidens of the Spear, complete with hand tuck. And of course, we get to see more of their peaceful, serene, completely understandable to outsiders, tradition of Ji-Eto. I, for one, don't think that there's any toe incurred when
I was defending myself when Jolyon took the sword to her back that killed her.
But also we know that as long as you believe you have toe and say or sign it, then you have toe. And I think it's a good sign that Aviendha is in fact very prideful in her self-effacement.
That was it. End of story. Pull the curtain, close the shutters. Good night. You were dead and you liked it.
Now Perrin has an army of warrior women and a wolf with him off to Falma, where I'm sure everything will go perfectly well. Number 6. Undercover Divas. To describe the awesome teamwork antics of Nynaeve and Elaine working together at last.
I'm Kofi. Yeah, and I'm Kareem.
And we already understand that there are 3 words that a wisdom will not say. I don't know. Because she's way smarter than any wool-headed man.
We would have been so much better off if you were a girl.
She does finally deign to give into teamwork makes the dream work, and they call her a Soldam, who looks perfectly terrified. And based on the trailer, they are going to be infiltrating the kennels next week, and Nynaeve looks fierce as a Suldam. In the kennels, Egwene may have bowed, but she ain't broken yet.
Anna. Yes, Egwene. I will kill you.
She's even rebraided her hair.
Feel this braid, and know that we all stood before you. We all stand with you.
Oh yes, the women have woven together a strong bond, which may just save the world. For now. Number 7. Weaveth steadily. In this episode, we're seeing the truth of Moraine's earlier observation.
Sea folk might be good at the game, Master Daemon, but the Aes Sedai invented it.
The Armorlin has woven her schemes within schemes within schemes.
With 14 sisters by our side to show he is under our control.
We see Swan sitting in her center of power.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Confident that she can use her web of influence to rewrite the pattern and fate to as she wills, not as the wheel wills.
But why farm of all places?
The dragon is supposed to proclaim himself there. Bannered across the sky in fire.
And ignoring prophecy we know brings a curse upon any who dare.
The tower is filled with your enemies. You're this sure of your power.
And without even accounting for the Black Aja Leandrin's schemes,
Remove her from the board.
we have Varen doing the investigation work of how to get Rand out of the city before she even knows he's there.
Go on then. What's the big secret? Why do you need an Ogier map of the city?
And then there's Alana, who seems devoted to opposing the Dark One and helping Moraine. I'm not quite sure she thought all the way through the consequences of her action this night.
I hope you're with this, boy.
A charmed web she weaves alway. A curse is on her if she stay her weaving either night or day, to look down to Kyrian. In this episode, Swan's weaving has finally been stayed, and who can say what the curse may bring? Number 8. Out flew the web. Swan's boldness in presuming that she could control the wheel is all the more galling when you realize just how far the Aes Sedai have fallen since the Age of Legends.
Thousands of strands pulled together, held in place, but nothing being channeled into them.
How is that possible?
As a book fan, I wasn't so much surprised that Moraine was under a tied-off shield. I'd been saying that before it was cool, back in the season 1 finale. Nor was I that shocked that Moraine seems to have lied about it, but was actually just misdiagnosing herself.
You lied to me about being stilled.
No. I cannot. I've been more truthful with you than anyone else.
Rather, I'm flabbergasted that the Aes Sedai forgot how to tie off weaves.
A skill that's been lost for thousands of years. To tie off weaves and leave them in place.
I guess it's not inconsistent with what we've seen thus far. Rather just, wow, how the mighty have fallen. And of course, Rand is appropriately able to identify this weakness and blaze through it in fiery glory. Out flew the web and floated wide. The mirror cracked from side to side. I do relish at the thought of this world now having forgotten how to do something as simple as tying off a weave, at how effective the Forsaken will be. But I believe the world is burning to the ground. Who not only know that power, but many, many more.
Who are you? How did I get here?
That's my little secret.
Up till now, the Aes Sedai have been like in the land of the blind, where they say the one-eyed man is king. Number 9, Flicker, I barely know her. So Matt didn't blow anything up this episode, but he did get hung. That is an adequate consolation prize. The show seems to be adapting the Great Hunt's iconic flicker sequence here, and I'm kind of torn. On the one hand, it does set up Matt's character arc now very clearly. Will he give into his past mistakes? Will he follow Ishamael's advice and decide that the best way to save the wheel is to break it?
The wheel turns, and people are hurt. It's a simple fact.
The show seems to be banking on the Darth Rand plot, and they are building it up very well. However, I don't particularly like this plot, and to be fair, I didn't particularly like Matt in the first 2 books either, so it's not a bad adaptation choice. This is just not my favorite part of the series, but they're adapting it really well. I do find it strange that the Forsaken have tea, which is of course the beverage in fantasy of all that is beautiful, good, and true, instead of wine, which as we know is the Dark One's beverage.
Drink thee not, nor thee, thou sons, lest ye die, nor congregate at the corner tabernacle.
Number 10, the game. Well, Swan just lost the game to Rand, a sheep herder from the 2 Rivers, who she thought she could control single-handedly.
A single Aes Sedai can handle you like bait fish.
But she underestimated his willingness to do whatever it takes to save the world, or at least Egwene.
If they need me in phone, then they certainly don't want me being held prisoner by the Emerald's feet.
Even if it means revealing himself to the world as the Dragon Reborn as Moraine wants him to, or even if it means befriending Lanfear as Lanfear definitely wants him to.
Maybe I won't need you.
Oh, I do like it when you try to manipulate me.
Can you get me out or not, Lanfear?
Since she wants him all to herself, but now she seems willing to share.
You're not going to touch her, not if you want my help.
And of course, Ishamael wants him at Falma so that he can turn him to the dark side. It's all about aligning those interests to undermine the authority of the Armorland seat.
You're very clever with your words, sister.
But I guess she might get that reckoning later? And I suppose we all will, as we see how long these alliances last. As long as it takes for a Waygate to close, as long as it takes for the Black Wind to show Rand all the different times he may fail against the Dark One.
No matter how fast or how far you run, you cannot escape your fate.
Or as long as it takes to save the world.
Tune in next week for the exciting conclusion, Woody's finest hour!
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment telling me what you liked about this week's episode and what your predictions are for the finale or season 3. See you next week. Bye!